Всі свої питання, будь ласка, пишіть в чат. Якщо захочете поспілкуватися наживо камерою, мікрофоном, теж пишіть, і ми вас під'єднаємо. І передаю слово спікерам. Наталія.
Okay. Good day. This presentation will be in English language. I hope it is okay for all of you. You can ask at the end of the presentations your questions in Ukrainian language as well. I will now start. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Natalia Kudelia. I've been working for the University of Applied Sciences Würzburg-Schweinfurt for the last 10 years. I work in the international office and I'm responsible for international students. So I help them with the documents, with all their questions and so on. So the content of today's presentation will be very shortly. I will tell you about the location and about the programs. Especially, I will emphasize our English taught programs. We have 8 of them and they are free of charge. Then we will talk about the requirements, about the application process, about the deadlines. Then about financial issues like scholarship, student jobs, cost of living. Some organizational issues like German courses, visa or residence permit, accommodations, health insurance, and so on. Then I will tell you some kind of do's and don'ts, how to or what to keep in mind when you study at a German university, because there is a huge difference between studying here and somewhere abroad or in your native country. Some words about student leisure activities and then perspectives after your studies, like your career opportunities. I start with the first slide, location. So THWS is located in the south of Germany, but not where Munich is, but it's like Upper Franconia or in the northern part of Bavaria. It is very close to Frankfurt, not that far away from Stuttgart, and not that far away from Nuremberg. Our university is located on 2 campuses in 2 different places, Würzburg and Schweinfurt. And the distance between these sites is about 40 kilometers. But if you study in Würzburg, then you don't have to go to Schweinfurt. And of course, if you study in Schweinfurt, you don't have to go to Würzburg. So you study only in one town. Quickly differences between these places, because they are really very different. So Würzburg, it is located on the banks of the River Main. The population is about 130,000 people. And it's a very nice and touristic, young and vibrant city of students. We have 3 universities here. That's why you will find here a lot of young people and a lot of tourists, because it's really very nice, very attractive, very beautiful. We have 2 main attractions. It's Würzburg Residence, which is really very beautiful, and also Marienberg, a fortress which is almost 1,000 years old. Schweinfurt is totally different. It is not a touristic place. It's also situated on the banks of the River Main, but the population is smaller and it is very industrial town. So the privilege of living here is that the university is very close to all the companies, mainly technical engineering companies. So for students, it's very easy to find good work here. Part-time job as a student, or afterwards, like a job as an engineer, for example. Some facts and figures. As I said, we have 2 campuses, Würzburg and Schweinfurt. We have 10 faculties, and on them we have more than 50 programs, bachelors and masters. Also 8 research institutes. We employ 210 professors, and we have more than 9,000 students. A big amount of students are our international students from more than 100 countries. And this amount of students allows us to tell that we are one of the largest universities of applied sciences in Bavaria. It's a state university, that's why all diplomas are internationally recognized. And in order to get bachelor, you need to study here 3.5 years. So this is a standard duration of study. Because 6 months, it will be an internship in a company and it's obligatory. So it's not an option, it's a must. If you will go, for example, to a, let's say, traditional university, there the internship is not a must, and that's why you can complete your study in like only 3 years. But at our university, 3.5 years. Very briefly, the history of the university, like many, many years ago, it was a polytechnical school. Then there were some campuses, and the university as it is now was in 1971. And 2 years ago, it was renamed. So it was Fachhochschule, now it's Technical University. That's why the name is also changed. So this is the department overview. This is what we offer. I will now tell you like in details which courses we are offering in English and in German language. Here you see the list of our bachelor programs in German language. So on the left side, you see our technical engineering, computer science programs, a huge variety, I would say. And on the right side, you see all other programs like design, social sector, language, and also like business management. The last one, culinary and wine tourism, it's marked with stars because it's a new program and it didn't start. It will start probably this year for the first time. We are not sure. So I hope it will start this year from the winter semester, but there is no guarantee, so we will see. But it's a brand new program. We never had it before. And if you compare all other programs with this one, this is really something very special, culinary and wine tourism. So maybe for some of you, it will be interesting study course. So it's offered, all these programs are offered in German language. Here you see master programs in German language as well. So more or less it's the same as on a bachelor level, but the number of programs is like less. We do not offer all our bachelor programs on a master level. I see a question regarding master studies and the requirements. I will tell about it during the presentation. So now we are going to see our programs on a bachelor level, which are offered in English language. So you see on the left side, bachelor programs, business and engineering, international management, logistics, mechatronics, robotics, applied mathematics, applied polymer engineering, and from winter semester of this year, we're going to offer mechanical engineering as well. So this program was not offered by now, but it will start in the winter semester, so on the 1st of October. Mechanical engineering, it's Maschinenstроение, or Maschinenbau in German. We have this program in German language, but it will start now also additionally in English language. On master level, you see what we have: business and engineering, artificial intelligence, international social work with refugees and migrants, also very interesting program. Managing global dynamics, it's a business program, and 2 MBAs, international business and management of business transformation. So MBAs, they are not free of charge because the government doesn't pay for them. So students have to pay themselves, but all other programs are free of charge. Okay, I hope this is clear. And now I will explain you the concept of our twin programs. So now I showed you our bachelor programs taught in English language. And exactly the same programs we also have in German. So the same content, even sometimes same professors, same location, everything same, but different language. And students who do not speak German but speak English, they can start this program in English language. They can study German at our university. And as soon as they reach a level B2 in German language, they can switch to a German taught program without changing the program. So I hope this is clear. So you don't have to leave your program and then you apply for a new one in a German language, but you like study in English, then you like getting better in your German, you achieve level B2, and then you continue studying in German if you want. If you don't want, you finish your degree course completely in English. So you have two options. It's up to you whether you study in both languages or in one. Of course, if you speak German already, you can choose initially the German taught program, and you can also switch to English during your study. So it's very very free for students to decide on the language. You have a lot of flexibility here. But those students who will, let's say, get half of credits in one study course in English and half of the credit points in German, they will additionally get a twin certificate, so additionally to their bachelor degree. So these are these 8 programs which are designed as twin programs. And you see that like 6 programs are offered in Schweinfurt. They are all technical, almost all our technical engineering programs, they are in Schweinfurt. And in Würzburg, we have only 2. It's applied polymer engineering and international management. International management is the only program which is business economics program, which is not technical program. All others are technical. I mentioned already a few times that the education is free at our university. There is only one exception. All MBA programs are not free of charge, and some master programs are also not free of charge, but they are like designed for those who already work in a company and they continue to study and work. But the regular master programs, they also, all of them are free of charge. But there is a registration fee. It's a semester fee. All students, it doesn't matter, international students or German students, all students have to pay this semester fee. If they study in Würzburg, the fee is around 163 euros per semester, and in Schweinfurt it's around 112. In this price, the travel ticket is included for the whole semester for all means of transportation. So students can use any bus, tram, and so on in the city without paying for this. And also, with their student card, they get discounts in some shops or in the theater, in cinema, and also in the canteen. So they pay much less. So now let's talk about the admission requirements. First of all, I will explain the admission requirements for German bachelor programs. So basically, you need to fulfill the general requirements. General requirements mean actually 12 years of education at least, because German pupils, they go to school to do their Abitur, and it is at least for 12 years, sometimes 13. So Ukrainians, for example, they go to school and they complete their school only after 11 years. That's why 1 year is missing. And there are 2 opportunities how they can get this 1 additional year. After school, they get 1 year of higher education, or they go to Studienkolleg. Studienkolleg is in Germany. Sometimes people ask me which is the better option and what they have to do and so on. It depends on many, many factors. So maybe at the end of the presentation, we can talk about it if you would like. But these are 2 main options what you have. Or of course, if you are already in Germany and you decided to go to German school, then of course you are like German, then you have to get like Abitur. So exactly what Germans need in order to get eligibility for German universities. I hope this point is clear. And additionally, as foreigners, you need to show that your German proficiency is good enough. So you have to submit a German like proficiency test on a level B2, at least level B2. We do not require C1, but to be honest, it is very, very difficult to study if you only know German on a level B2. It is really very not easy. So I recommend you all to know German better than B2. But this is the official formal requirement. So you can prove it with the test THWS or DSH1 or Deutsches Sprachdiplom, or you can also study German, or you can do a course at our university, which is offered online. And after this course, you will also get our internal certificate with the level B2. I will tell at the end about our intensive courses, how you can get B2 if you already have B1. So these are the general requirements. And then there are some additional requirements, and they depend on a study program. For example, we also require pre-study internships. Pre-study means that you have to complete this internship before you start your studies. And here on the slide, you see the programs where additional pre-study internship is required. Architecture, civil engineering, digital planning and building, digital rescue management, plastics and rubber engineering, social work, and healthcare management. For all these programs, you need a pre-study internship. You can do it in Germany, you can do it in Ukraine or in any other country, it doesn't matter. But you have to fulfill the requirements because all faculties, they have their specific requirements for the pre-study internship. And in order to get a study place at our university, usually you do not have to write any exam. You just have to apply and like submit the documents. But there are two exceptions, and like one exception is architecture. You have to pass an exam, and also communication design. You also have to first to submit your like creative works. This first part of the test. And if you are good in this, then they will invite you for an exam, and then you have to pass the exam. If you will pass both, then you will get a study place. So I hope this is clear. If not, I hope this is clear. If not, we can talk about it after the presentation. Now you see the admission requirements for English bachelor programs. So the general requirements are exactly the same. School leaving certificate after 11 years of education, plus 1 year of higher education in your home country, for example. And I must also add here some important information. For example, this 1 year of education or 1 year in Studienkolleg must have the same direction which you are going to choose at the German university. For example, if you want to study, let's say, business administration at our university, business administration is a management or economics or business direction. So it means that in your home country, you have to choose this direction, something related to management or business or economics. But it cannot be, let's say, psychology, or it cannot be like languages or something different, because if you will start, let's say, languages, English and German, then in German you can only continue the selected course. You cannot switch then to business or to engineering or to IT. So this is very important. You cannot change your mind and then start a new direction at a German university. You are binded to the previous selected course. The only exception, for example, if you will complete your bachelor degree, so if you already have your bachelor degree, only in this case, you are free to choose a new bachelor degree at a German university. But if it's not completed, you are binded to this course. So I hope this point is clear. And that's why before, for example, you go to Studienkolleg, you also have to decide what do you want to study at the university, and only then you can decide which course you select at Studienkolleg. Okay, so in order to prove your English knowledge, you also have to submit English proficiency tests. For example, TOEFL 83 points or IELTS 6.0 at least, or for example, Duolingo with 100 points as minimum. Duolingo is the most, I would say, easy test, and it's less expensive. That's why if you decide which test to take, Duolingo is okay. Among our 8 English taught programs, there is only one where you have to submit pre-study internship certificate. It's applied polymer engineering. So for all other English taught programs, it is not required. Then something interesting about A2 level of German. Actually, the programs are in English, and you will not need any knowledge of German if you study in English, but still A2 German is required. But not from the very beginning, but by the end of the second semester at our university. So it means that you apply knowing only English, but after the first year of education, you have to submit A2 level of German. You can do it at our university. For example, like our international students, they start A1 level in the first semester, and then A2 level in the second semester. And if they pass exam, then they have A2 German language, and then they are like done with this requirement. And there is only one exception. For international management, you do not have 1 year time to get this level. So this is the only program where you have to know A2 by the beginning of the winter semester. So it means by the 30th of September, you have to submit the document. Otherwise, you will not be immatriculated and you cannot study your program. Then some additional requirements for robotics, mechatronics, and mechanical engineering. All these 3 programs, they are very technical, very engineering. And in order to prove that you are able to start your study, to finish your study, you have to prove your technical skills. That's why we require test SAT with 1050 points, or test US, where you have to choose engineering module and get 100 points, plus test also with 100 points. Okay. Now let's talk about admission requirements for master programs. So first of all, what you need to understand, because I saw the question about master programs, but you are not, you didn't mention which master program or which bachelor program you finished. The thing is that in Germany, you cannot, for example, as it is in some other countries, that you start, for example, you finished your degree course in bachelor, let's say, I don't know, business, and then you want to study engineering on a master level or something like this. So this is not going to happen in Germany. Here you have, in order to get a place on a master level, your bachelor degree must be already in a related degree program. So it must be the same field. Sometimes it can be like very similar. Sometimes it must be exactly the same. Otherwise, you don't have any chances. For example, we have a master program, Artificial Intelligence. We have only maximum 40 places, and we have more than 800 applicants for every year. So you can imagine that the competition is really very high, and only a small amount of people will get these places. And that's why if you studied, for example, I don't know, something, let's say, business computer science. So it's actually very similar to artificial intelligence because both are IT. But in this case, your bachelor degree will not help you. But if you studied, let's say, artificial intelligence on a bachelor level, and you fulfill all other requirements, then of course your chances are much higher. So to make it short, as I said, it must be the same field. Then you have to have at least 210 points, ACTS credits, GPA 2.5 in a German system, in a German system or better. Sometimes in some master programs, the GPA is a bit less, so let's say 2.7, for example. Sometimes it is 2.0. So it depends on the master program. But like in general, it's about 2.5. And then there are some specific requirements of the program. I will show you now an example, and plus language requirements. So if it's an English program, then of course you have to prove your English skills. If it's a German program, then German. Sometimes we have one kind of computer science programs. You have to prove both English and German language. And sometimes it is B2, sometimes it is C1. So it depends on the program. On the website, you can see on the table like which languages are required and which level. So in order for you to understand how it works, you see on the right side an example. Example for business and engineering master program. So this information you will find also on the website. So it's not my imagination or something, or not my opinion. I took it from our faculty's website. So what they require is a bachelor degree in one of the following fields: industrial engineering, engineering, business, or logistics. Degree grade of 2.5 or better, then 22 credit points. And then you have to prove that you have at least 20 credit points in, and then it's listed, electrical engineering or engineering mechanics or material science and construction. So if you will not have at least 20 credits in these fields, it will be not possible for you to get a place. Plus, requirements for business field. You have to have at least 20 credit points in general business administration, private business law, or internal external accounting. The same here. If you, let's say, studied on your bachelor level only engineering, and you didn't have any business subjects, and you do not have in total 20 points, then unfortunately the faculty will not consider your application. So these are the requirements for business and engineering. And the same you can check on the website of the faculty, and you will then better understand your chances. Because otherwise, like most of students, they apply without knowing, like, do they have chances, how are the chances, and so on. And so that if you check these requirements, then you have a feeling more or less if you fulfill these requirements or not. So I hope I understood it clearly. If not, ask me then questions. Now let's talk about the application. First of all, we cooperate with UniAssist. It's an external organization in Berlin, and you first have to send your documents to UniAssist. Usually it is online, so you register there, you send them the documents or upload the document, they check them, and then they say, okay, you are eligible to study at a German university or not. If you're eligible, then you can apply at our application portal. considering the deadlines. If, for example, UniAssist gives you VPD, it's a document for Prüfungsdokumentation, and if it says that you are not eligible, then you have to check like why you are not eligible, what you have to do in order to be eligible. You have to visit Studienkolleg, or you have to do something different. Or, for example, you are eligible only for some specific fields. This is what I explained you at the beginning, that you are binded to a program which you selected first if you didn't complete it. So what else you have to consider? We have very different timeframes for application. For winter semester, for example, for all English taught programs, you have to apply from April to the 15th of June, not July, because most of German universities, they have 15th of July as a deadline. But we have the deadline on the 15th of June, but only for the registration, not for application, but registration in the application portal. So this is a big difference, because I know that most of you will not have like the documents, you will not have your transcript of records, or you will not have your FSP from Studienkolleg by 15th of June. We know it, but you have to register on our application portal till 15th of June, and then you can upload all the required documents later. Usually you have time till at least till 15th of July, sometimes till 27th of July. So it's not a problem to upload the documents later. But if you will miss this deadline for registration, then you cannot apply anymore in this year, and you have to wait 1 year in order to apply in the second year. For some, I was talking about English taught programs, right? If, for example, you are interested in a German program, and then the deadlines are different. It can be till 15th of July. If it's communication design or architecture, the deadline is even in May. So you have to check anyway the website to know the exactly deadline. I assume that all of you are from Ukraine. So because of the war, now you do not have to apply for a student visa as it was before, because usually all international students have to apply for a student visa. It's a national visa, and in order to get it, you have to have 11,208 euro on your bank account, on your blocked bank account. Now, the majority of students, they have here paragraph 24, and that's why they don't have to have this sum of money, but it is only because of the war. As soon the war is over and there won't be this paragraph 24, students will be again required to have their normal paragraph 16, and then they will be requested again to have this blocked account with 11,208 euros. This is not a requirement of the university. It has nothing to do with the university. It is a requirement of the German government for all international students. So now you have a perfect opportunity to get free education in Germany without this amount of money. So if you have an opportunity, I would suggest please use it, because I don't think that it will ever be again. So some words about accommodation. German universities in general do not have their own accommodation, but there is another organization in Germany, it's called Studentenwerk, and all the student dormitories, they are like under the rule of Studentenwerk. And all the student dorms, they are very close to the universities, they have very good equipped rooms or even flats, and each student has his own room, so students never live together in one room. Of course, they share like a flat, but all of them are living in a separate rooms. And they share the kitchen, for example, or bathroom, and so on. Like the prices now are much higher than it was like 1 year ago or 2 years ago. So everything now is more expensive as it used to be. So rooms are also now more expensive. So about 300, 400, 500 euros per month per person. And still, there is a huge demand for student dormitories, and that's why not all students can get the room. All you can do is to apply like the same day as you get like your letter of admission from the university. You have to go to the website of Studentenwerk. You have to apply for a room and submit your letter of admission, because without letter of admission you cannot apply for a room. That's why the conditions for students are really very good in terms of living, but unfortunately not all of them will get a room, because the amount of rooms available is just not sufficient for all the demand. If you will not get student accommodation, then you have to look on a private market. Prices are more or less the same, the conditions more same the less, but it will be like on a private basis and not ruled by Studentenwerk. So this is the difference. On our website, of course, we have all the links for all accommodations available, private market, and also all student residences from Studentenwerk, and also some private companies. So you can check all of them. All students have to be insured, so you cannot be a student without insurance in Germany. And right now it costs around 140 euros per month, every month. But the good thing about it, if you get ill, then you go to a doctor and you don't have to pay. And for example, if something will happen and you will urgently need an operation, you also don't have to pay for it. Otherwise, it would cost thousands of euros, because like it's very expensive. But due to this health insurance, like everything is free. Some words about scholarships. Usually, international students do not get any state scholarship. I will tell about state scholarship for Ukrainians on the next slide. But here I just want to mention, for example, if you are very good in your studies, you can apply for Deutschlandstipendium. It's one of the options, but only if you have really very, very good grades. For master students, I would recommend to check the website DAD, because they offer really very good scholarships. And all funds, all organizations, all companies providing students scholarships, they can be found on the website mystipendium.de. So this site is just the best for you to check on different grants. If you go to a German school, so-called DSD school, and if you will graduate from this school with very good grades and very good German skills, then you can apply for a motivation scholarship. And if you will get it, you will get at least 500 euros per month for 1 year, or sometimes it's even more, like 700 or 800 euros per semester. But it's only for DSD graduates. And if you are from Ukraine, if you are in Germany and you have 24th paragraph, because like kind of refugee, it's not exactly refugee, like seeking for protection or something like this. Only in this case you can apply for BAföG. It has never been possible for anyone, only for Germans. Now, because of the war, it's also possible for Ukrainians under this paragraph. So the maximum amount what you can get per month is around 992 euros. But the final sum depends on many factors. For example, if you live with your parents, or you live alone, the income of your parents, and so on. So many different. But unfortunately, it's not available for those who already got bachelor education in Ukraine or in any other country. So only for those who didn't finish their previous education. The responsible organization is Studentenwerk. So they have people who are very competent in this field, and you can check information on the website and call them or write your questions by email and so on. But like you have to be very patient because it's a very bureaucratic and long-lasting process. You have to apply for this scholarship as soon as possible. As soon as you get your letter of admission, you can apply. But I just want to mention one important thing, that this is not a scholarship which you get and forget about it. It doesn't function in this way. BAföG, it's the half of the amount is a gift, but another half is a loan, and you have to pay it back after you complete your studies and find a work. The conditions are really very good. You don't have to pay interests, and you pay, after you get a job, you pay around 110 euros or something like this per month. So it's not very like high amount of money. When you get your salary, you will not even mention that you are paying this 100 euros back. So actually, it's a good thing, but still you have to keep it in mind that it's a loan. The half of the sum is a loan. And living costs right now in Germany, officially, they are 992 euros per month. But of course, it depends on your lifestyle, and also it depends on how much you pay for your accommodation. Because if you have cheap room, then your expenses won't be that high. But if your accommodation costs, let's say, 500 euros, then of course it's already very expensive. Health insurance, 140 euros. Food is now, the prices got very expensive for food. So I'm not even sure if now 200 euros are enough. I would say now 250 euros at least. Then some clothes, leisure activities, some other expenses like traveling and your hobbies. Students are allowed to work during their studies. For those who are here under paragraph 16, like student residence permit, they can work 140 days per year or 280 days part-time per year. But if you are here on a paragraph 24, then you don't have any limits. So you can work as much as you want. But of course, there is another limitation. It's if you have like a status of a student, then you can still work only maximum 20 hours per week. So it cannot be full-time job, or maybe it can be, but you have to check if it's possible or not. The majority of students, they do combine their study and work. So this flexible German education system allows students to work and to study at the same time. So basically, at the beginning, they have very simple jobs like a waiter in a restaurant or something like this, or they work in some companies on holiday, sometimes even in night shifts in order to get more money. As soon as they are like getting into higher semesters, then they work in a company, in an office, and then they have a better payment and better conditions for work. Students can find jobs very easily everywhere, and also we have university website with job offers, and like everywhere there are some opportunities. What I would like also to mention, because like international students, they never lived in Germany, they never studied in Germany, they have like no idea how it is to study in Germany. Oh, sorry, I don't know why we went back. So we students, they have like very limited knowledge how to study in Germany. That's why my colleague, they always, every year, they offer orientation program for international students. And we know from our experience that only those students who participate in this orientation program, they do not have any problems during their study, because they already understood all these small things which they have to consider. Some regulations, some laws. You know, Germany is a very bureaucratic country with a lot of regulations, with a lot of rules. And if you don't know these rules, you will have a lot of problems. And if you don't know the deadlines, you will have a lot of problems. We have all the time students who are coming to us with their problems because they forgot to they forgot about the deadline, they forgot about the process, they forgot to do this or that. In order to explain how it works, we offer this orientation program, and we highly recommend all our prospective students to participate in it. Otherwise, you will be coming to my office and saying, you know, I didn't know that I have to do my exam this semester. I thought I can do it next semester, and now they want to exmatriculate me, but I don't want to quit my studies. What should I do? So this is what I deal with all the time. That's why this orientation program is really very important. We also offer German language courses. If you are a student, then you pay less. If you are not a student, external, then you pay more. We have semester courses. As I mentioned, you can do, for example, A1 level of German in the first semester, A2 in the second. You can do B1 in the third semester, B2 in the fourth, and so on. So you can get one level per one semester. For those of you, for example, who are already eligible to study at a German university, we talked about what it means to be eligible, right, at the beginning. So if you are eligible and you would like to apply to study at our university now in winter semester, but your level of German is, let's say, A2, you can get now, you can study somewhere in order to get B1. And as soon as you have B1 level of German, in August, September, we are offering 1 month intensive B2 course. If you will apply for this course, for B2, having B1, and if you will do this course, a very intensive course, if you will put a lot of effort, if you will learn, and if you will pass the exams in the middle of September, then you will get B2, B2 level, and then you can start your study course on the 1st of October. So it means that you apply by the 15th of June or by 15th of July, depending on your study course. So this is one process. You apply for a study place, right? But you don't have to submit your language certificates, because we require language certificate always only by the end of September. And this is like the perfect way for you to get a study place and not to lose time because of German. But as I said, you have to have B1 before August. Our university is a very international university. We have a lot of partner universities, also in Ukraine, also in Japan and United States, and like everywhere. It means that once you are our student, you can later in the third or fourth semester or later go for 1 semester abroad to study in a different country. When I was a student in Germany, for example, I went for 1 semester to Spain because my university also had partners, and I decided to go to Spain to study 1 semester there. So it's always a good idea to also to go for 1 semester abroad, but it's not a must. So I will just quickly say what I think is important to say about German education in general. So it's not somehow specific to our university. This is just in general like this in Germany. So we have very high quality education and very high standards. Studying is really not easy here, so you have to put a lot of efforts. You will not get a good grade just because you are pretty or smart or something. So as professors, when they check your exam, they don't even see your name. They only see your number. That's why they never know. So it's very objective. And even to get a pass grade, so the least possible grade to pass, you have to get 50% correct answers. So if you answered half of the questions absolutely correctly and 1 point is missing, you didn't pass. So in other countries, like in Ukraine, it's not like this. And that's why I'm talking about high standards. Attendance of lectures is voluntary, so you don't have to go to lectures if you don't want to, except some laboratories depending on a study course. So usually you have flexible schedule. It means that, for example, you get your schedule for the first semester, but then you can say, for example, okay, these 2 subjects, I want to do them later in the second or third semester. But instead, I would like to take the course from the second semester because it's like fitting better in my schedule. So this is what I did. This is what do all students all the time. They mix the schedules in order to make their life a bit more pleasant, let's say. For example, I was always trying to have lectures only on 3 days. So I wanted to have 2 days off in order to work or to do my things. It's not always possible, but sometimes it's possible. Here we have very high interactivity between professors and students. So it's not passive that you're a student just sitting and listening. So you have to interact with professor all the time. Then you don't have to write notes all the time because all these notes are already prepared. You just download them from the portal. We have a lot of group and project works, sometimes with companies, sometimes without companies, but a lot of them. And sometimes, for example, for some courses like business administration, officially we do not require English certificate, but in reality, without English knowledge, you cannot finish your degree because English is required. Because from the third semester, the lectures will be in English. Not all of them, but partly. So you also have to consider this, that in Germany, it's really very important to know both languages, actually. Yeah. And we have a lot of very strict deadlines and procedures for everything. And they are to be taken seriously because otherwise you will have like difficulties. So I would say that in order to be successful here in Germany, you have to have very strong discipline, motivation, self-organization. Otherwise, it won't be easy for you. Some words about student life. Actually, students have very nice life here because we have university sport, all kind of sports you can imagine. We have a lot of museums, and students travel a lot because it's very cheap here to travel. We have a lot of wine festivals, which are really great. We have music festivals, a lot of events. We have a beach on the river. Okay, it's not a sea, but still it's very nice, and so on. So students really enjoy their life here. And one of my last slides, some words about perspectives after studies. So by now, Germany is still the country with the lowest youth unemployment rate in whole Europe. Students can have 1.5 years time to search for a job. And so it's an official visa that you will get after your studies, 1.5 years to look for a job. And while you're looking for a job, you can still work like anything you want. Some words about Schweinfurt. Schweinfurt is the city with the highest job density in whole Germany. And I'm not sure about how it's now, but some years ago, it was a city with the highest starting salaries for Germany, for engineers in whole Germany. And what we do as a university, we give you practical education so that through all these project works and group works and very like practical oriented education, you really know what to do after you finish your degree. And of course, you also have an obligatory internship for 4 months, so 1 semester in a company. It will also give you important contacts to companies, then job experience and so on. So that's why our alumni, they get job very easily. So they don't need this 1.5 years to find a job. Usually they write their bachelor thesis and they already have a job offer. And we also have free of charge career service in both in English language and also in German language. This is where we invite professionals who teach you how to write CV according to German standards, how to behave in a job interview, what is assessment center and which tasks you will get, and business etiquette, and so much more things in order to prepare you for a job in Germany or internationally as well. We have a website with the information in 5 languages, English, German, Russian, Turkish, and Spanish. You can check it. You can follow us on the Instagram. It's called international.thws, or Facebook. Or 2 days ago, I created an Instagram account, which is brand new, like I said, only 2 days, in Russian language, and it's called Rus, point international point THWS, and I created it in order to help students to understand all these complicated things about the programs, about the requirements, about life here. I will do interviews with our existing students, with our students who already graduated, and so on, in order to give information which cannot be found on the internet. And now I can answer your questions. Thank you very much for your attention. I will now go to questions. I will now try to remember how I display them on the screen. Okay, I guess. Добрий день. Чи є в ТГВС магістерські програми англійською мовою? Чи можна детальніше про процес вступу на магістратуру? Закінчую в цьому році бакалаврат в Україні. Замість дипломної роботи будуть екзамени. Maria, this is what I explained. I hope you listened. And so now you don't have this question. If yes, you can write me an email and I will help you. What types of student housing are available at THWS? Are there university dormitories and how can students apply for them? I also answered this question that university don't have student dorms, but Studentenwerk has, and on our website you can find all the links of all these options, what is available here. Is it realistic to live in one city, for example, Berlin, and travel for studying to Würzburg? I mean, is it possible to schedule the classes to study just a few days per week and live between 2 cities? Is there practice like this in Germany? Like in theory, yes, but you at the end you will hate your studies and your life and everything. So I would never recommend you to do this, just because maybe it will work out if you will combine your schedule in this way that you study only 3 days a week, for example. And first of all, it will be very expensive. Second, you will be very tired. And third thing, that at the beginning it might work, but later you will have a lot of group works. And it means that you will have to meet all the time with your group members to discuss, to work on projects. And for example, sometimes students meet on the weekend to discuss their project, or sometimes in the evening, and not only in those days in which you would like to stay in Würzburg. And so I don't believe you can. I mean, nothing is impossible, of course, but I believe it's not very good idea. Even, for example, students, when they live in Schweinfurt and they travel to Würzburg, like 40 kilometers, this is already somehow not very easy, but Berlin is really far away. It's like 4 hours on the train ride, and plus all other things. So I would not recommend. Друге питання. Маю ступінь магістра КПІ. Чи є можливість вступити на англійський курс на отримання ступеня магістру зразу на 4-й курс? Магістр КПІ. Чи на англійський курс на отримання? Well, I don't understand the question. So if you already have bachelor and master degree, right? And you would like to do another master degree at our university. It's possible only if you fulfill the requirements which I explained. So it has nothing to do with your master. It has nothing to do with your master degree. It will not count somehow at our university. The basis of getting a master degree here is your bachelor degree. So if your bachelor degree fulfill the requirements for our master degree, then yes. But you mean that you transfer? But then I don't understand fourth course, because our master program lasts only 1.5 years. So you have 3 semesters. You don't have courses. So you have 3 semesters. And anyway, it's better if you have one program you are interested in at our university and you see that you fulfill the requirements, then let's meet in Zoom and discuss it, because I need to see what you're talking about and how it can be possible. That's why, like in general, I cannot tell you. Can I apply to THWS for a bachelor degree after studying at a private college in Ukraine? If you studied in a college, it's not possible to apply at a German university. So college education is not sufficient, unfortunately, at all. Are flexible study schedules available at THWS for students who work part-time alongside this? Yeah, this is definitely possible. All students combine work and study. До чого тут 12 років? So this is a requirement to get eligibility for German university, because German students or pupils, they get their Abitur after 12 or 13 years of education. What are the employment regulations for students in Würzburg-Schweinfurt? Are there restrictions on the number of working hours for international students? I explained this question, as you might remember, but once again, so if you are here on a student visa, paragraph 16, then yes, you can work only 120 days per year. If you are here with your paragraph 24, you don't have restrictions according to this paragraph, but still this status of a student has already limits. So it's the same for German students. So it's not only like about international students, but also some limits for German students. It has something to do with taxes here. So students can then work only 20 hours per week. But okay, another thing, if you are a master student and you already have a full-time job, and then you want to get a master degree, and it's not full-time education, so there are some exceptions, but I'm not sure what you're asking me. That's why, like for bachelor, definitely no. 200 людей на місце, це не жарт. I never said 200 people for one place. I said for artificial intelligence, we have around 40 places, 40. And around 800 applications. The same is for Bachelor International Management. We have around 1,000 applicants, and we have only like around 5 places for non-EU students. So some courses are very restricted. Some courses are not restricted at all. So it depends on the course. That's why it's not a general rule or not a general code. Based on your experience, which subjects at THWS are considered the most challenging in terms of exams? Well, all exams can be very challenging. The point is, I would say it's all about your abilities and self-discipline. For example, of course, the most difficult subjects are related to engineering. So I would say like robotics and mechatronics, mechanical engineering, or architecture and civil engineering. They are very difficult because they require a very deep technical understanding and knowledge of physics, mathematics, and so on. For example, I am not this type of person who would ever understand all these technical things. For me, I would never ever pass any exam. But if you are able to understand physics and mathematics and all these things, then it won't be a problem for you. But you have to be disciplined, high disciplined. So I would say like this. Is the bachelor in business and engineering and CFRI? Yes, business and engineering has no limits for applications. So it means it doesn't matter which grade you have in your bachelor degree or in your school. If you will apply with the right documents in the right time, you will get a study place. It's the same is like for business engineering, for logistics, robotics, mechatronics, polymer engineering, actually for all English taught programs except international management. So international management is the only restricted program, and as I said, we have around 1,000 applications, and we have around 5 places for non-EU students. But all others are have very good conditions. Який час сертифікати про ступінь англійської та німецької є валідними? Чи можу я здати тест цього року, а вступити наступного? The majority of language certificates, they have a duration of 2 years. So you can do it now and apply next year, so it's not a problem. Доброго дня. Питання. Які можливості працевлаштування після закінчення університету, якщо навчання було англійською мовою в Німеччині? Чи є якась статистика працевлаштування? Знаю, що без знання німецької на рівні С1 влаштуватися на кваліфіковану роботу неможливо. Well, it's not impossible. We have a lot of students and graduates who could find a job only knowing English. But of course, the number of job offers where you only need to know English is very limited. If you are lucky and if you have something to offer to a company, of course they will give you this opportunity. But like not all students can be that lucky, for example, and that's why it's very recommendable to know German as well. I know, if you are good in something, it doesn't matter where are you from, where you studied. I personally know a lot of people who were invited to a company in Germany. They didn't know any German, and but they are very good in something. That's why they got a job in Germany, and they study in the company language is English. They communicate anyway in English. Because these companies are international, like Bosch, for example. Bosch employ, and some other companies, they employ graduates with no German skills, but they oblige them to learn German. So anyhow, you will need to know German. Maybe in IT, there are some more opportunities, and you can only know English and find a good job. So this is possible. But anyway, if you want to have like broader variety of companies where you would like to apply, you need to know German. Maybe not C1, but B2 at least. For example, if you would like to work at Porsche, you can never get a job there without German. So it depends also on a country, on a company. Подскажите, если в этом году заканчиваю школу в Украине, могу ли поступить в ваш университет? Tatiana, you probably missed the beginning. It's not possible to get admission only after school of Ukraine. You also need to get at least 1 year of education, higher education, so at a university in Ukraine, for example, or in Poland or any other country, or you have to go to a Studienkolleg in Germany to study 1 year more at the Studienkolleg, and only then you are eligible to study at the German university. If you want to understand how it works, you can write me an email, and I can send you like a very detailed description about application for Studienkolleg, for example. We cooperate with Coburg. It's a state Studienkolleg. So the education is free of charge there, and I will send you the information like how to prepare for exams, because they have 2 entrance exams, German and mathematics, and so on. But directly after the school, it's not possible. Which master's program in English would be suitable for someone who has completed a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship and training? We have one program. It's called Managing Global Dynamics. So this program might be appropriate. The only thing, I'm not sure if it's in English or in German. I'm sorry, I forgot. But you can check on our website if it's in German or in English. It might be in English. Can exams be retaken in case of an unsatisfactory grade? How many times is retake allowed? Well, if you didn't pass the exam, you have 2 attempts more. So in general, you have 3 attempts per exam. If you are not satisfied with your grade, there are some regulations that you can do exam once again in order to improve your grade. So it is possible, yeah. Знайти роботу легко. Невже знайомий по спорту каже, шукав рік, знайшов ще з вищою освітою досвіду роботи. Та ще він німець і живе в Німеччині з народження. Це після якого вашого факультету легко знайти роботу? Of course, it depends on the study program. For example, if you study, I don't know, something related to, let's say, philosophy, for example, or languages, then it's not that required on a German market. Of course, then you have to put a lot of effort to find a job. But our university do not offer something like sports or something. We offer only those programs which are really required on the market. That's why we have so many technical-oriented programs, engineering programs, or IT programs, or business administration. That's why it also very much depends on the field, on the subject. So if it's something related to IT or it's something related to engineering, you will definitely find a job. What advantages does the bilingual twin program offer to students? Is it possible to study in both English and German simultaneously? Well, the twin project was designed in order to help students who do not speak any German language. So many students, like everywhere in the world, they speak English, and they would like to study in Germany because the education is free, because the standards are high, and so on. The quality is good. And so we decided to offer this twin program so that students can start their education in English, and then to learn German, and then to switch into a German language in order to find a good internship place, and then to find a good job. So you can, if you know German and English both on a level B2, C1, You can switch between languages. So you can do one course in English, you can do one course in German, so you can mix them. You can do half in German, half. So you can mix as you like, but you have to fulfill these requirements in terms of language certificate. And I guess the advantage is that you don't only know the language, but you also know the terminology in English and in German, because you know, in order to go to the train station and to buy a ticket there, you don't require a very high level of German. But in order to explain to other engineers something, you know, some engineering stuff, you do need to know the terminology. So it's all about the terminology, and that you feel free to express what you would like. You have to communicate on a professional level with your colleagues, with your international partners, and so on. And this certificate, which we will issue, if you will do half in English, half in German, it confirms that you are able to communicate in both languages on a professional level. What unique disciplines or courses are available at THWS that distinguish it from other universities of applied sciences in Germany? I cannot answer this question because, you know, I didn't check the offer of all other universities. There are so many universities in Germany, so you can check it yourself if you're interested. But I would also not, I would not go this way, because it depends on what you want. I mean, you might be interested in some specific course, and then you can, for example, check the universities which offer this course and compare the programs, compare the conditions, and so on. So this is the way. For example, I can say we offer robotics, but I'm not sure if some other universities offer robotics or not, so I cannot answer your question. Which areas in Würzburg and Germany are best suited for student life in terms of hosting costs, transportation, and safety? Well, I'm not sure about Schweinfurt because I never lived in Schweinfurt, but our students live everywhere, so I don't think that it's a problem. In Würzburg, actually, it's also the same. The housing costs, I can only tell you the housing costs. Of course, if it's closer to the city center, it might be more expensive. If you live somehow a bit outside, then it can cost less. Or for example, the costs also depend on the size of your flat or on your room. The bigger the size is, the more you pay. So it's not only about location, it's also about the size. Transportation, actually, here the transportation is not a problem at all. So there are always buses and trams and so on. So if it's in the city, it doesn't matter, Würzburg or Schweinfurt. If it's in the city, it's all right to live. Of course, sometimes you cannot find something and you have to look for something like outside. But, you know, for the beginning, it's not a problem. If you have an offer, take it. And then when you live there, you can check other opportunities and then you can change. For example, when I came to Germany 20 years ago, I was happy to live, doesn't matter where, I was just happy to have a room. And I lived in a village half an hour away from Freiburg. And I had to take the bus in order to go to Freiburg, to the university. And my bus was sometimes every 20 minutes, and in the evening only one bus per hour, for example. But it doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes you don't have a choice. You just have to take anything you can. And then later, for example, after 6 months, I managed to get a student dorm in the city center. And of course, it was much comfortable for me. I could then take a tram for 7 minutes and I was in the city center. And so the life became much easier for me. But sometimes you just cannot choose. How does the health insurance system work in Würzburg? Are there university medical consultations available for students? No, we do not provide any medical consultations. So if you have some health issues, you have to go to doctor. Or for example, Studentenwerk offers not only student talks, but also some psychological consultations and some social like questions and so on. So this is the office where you have to go in order to get some help. But if it's like something related to physical health, then of course you have to see a doctor. So university only provides education, nothing else. Does THWS offer opportunities to earn additional certificates or take short-term courses in business, engineering, or IT alongside the main degree program? I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure. I know that there are some opportunities, but I cannot tell you in detail about them. I know that some students, they get additional credits, but I'm not sure how it works. I'm sorry. Is it possible to switch between different study programs after the first year of a year if a student wants to change their field? It's a very good question because like there is no such a thing as a transfer. So it means that you have to apply from the very beginning for a new program. And then if you, for example, did the same subjects in your previous program and you have same subject in the new program, then you can try to get the credits recognized. But special committee will compare the programs or the subjects, the content, the credits, and so on. So, and you cannot, for example, switch just in the middle of semester. You have to wait till the application period, which is very short in our case, like actually two times a year. And also you have to, in order to switch, you have to fulfill the requirements for the new program, and also you have to respect the deadlines in terms of application. Is there a dual studium in English in THWS, for instance, for international management? I don't think it's possible because like the option is there. We offer dual studium, but the problem is that you might not find a company because for German companies it doesn't make any sense to employ students to pay them the salary every month for 3.5 years. So I don't think it would be possible. It's different with business administration, which is the same content program, but in German. But in English, I don't think, not yet. Неперевершена презентація. Неймовірно вдячний вам за виділений час. Турбує ряд питань. Якщо людина хоче вступити на спеціальність Information Security, яка передбачає викладання матеріалу німецькою та англійською, чи потрібно людині, окрім сертифікату німецької мови, також сертифікат англійської? To be honest, Information Security is a new program which we have only since last year or 2 years. I am not sure, but it's better to check the website of the faculty, because I know that they require German knowledge, B2, but I'm not sure if they require English certificate. Definitely, the subjects will be in English as well, but if they require the certificate for this, I'm not sure. Чому ваш університет має досить низькі вимоги? Інші вищі школи, університети мають, наприклад, C1 рівень знання мов як вимогу. У чому підступ? It's not about our university, it's about the Bavarian state. So in the whole Germany, the states are very autonomous. And sometimes it gives us flexibility. So I think like 5 years ago or something, Bavaria as a state decided that they can like allow universities to set their own standards in terms of education. And that's why only Bavarian universities, only Bavarian, you will not find these conditions in other states, only Bavarian university can require, are allowed to require B2 level. Some of Bavarian universities didn't want to take this chance, and they said like, no, we're not going to change it. We are going to require C1. But the majority of Bavarian universities, they decided to adopt this requirement, and that's why they require B2. If it's a good idea of our university to lower the standard or not, I cannot tell you. But according to my experience, what I see when I interact with students or with applicants, I think B2-1 is not sufficient. Of course, I mean, if it's IT or something, it's okay. But if it's a subject where you have to understand many sentences and you have to speak, like social work, for example, then it's not very easy for students to be successful in their studies knowing only B2 level. So even C1 is, for example, I can tell about my experience. When I entered the university in Freiburg, the requirement was B2 C1. And I passed this exam, so I had level B2 C1. I started to visit lectures. I could not understand the half. I was sitting there in the lecture. I couldn't understand what the professor was talking about, but I didn't understand the half of the material, and I had to translate every second word because of the terminology, because it's very different language, especially when, for example, students have law, for example. Then I think I know German, my level is very good, but when the law starts, then you have a feeling that you don't know German at all, or some other like specific terminology. So I hope I could answer your question about the Bavarian regulations, and I really recommend to have C1 level. But the formal requirement is B2. Якщо людина оформилася на BAföG, але 24-й параграф не продовжили, то, наскільки я розумію, людина перестає отримувати стипендії і повинна подаватися на студентську візу, яка передбачає 11 тисяч на рахунку. I think yes, because only this paragraph 24 allows to get BAföG and exempt you from this blocked account. As soon as you have another paragraph, you have to deal with the requirements. And in this case, it's blocked account with almost 12,000. Yeah. That's why I also recommend students who started under paragraph 24 to think about the future, because as soon as they don't have this paragraph, they have to find a solution to get residence permit. If it's not possible to apply to the THWS after college, can I enter after the first year of my bachelor degrees at a Ukrainian private university? Well, private, if it's recognized in Germany, then yes, and it must be not online education, not distance education, it must be on-site education. And you can check on the website Anabin if this university is recognized in Germany, or you can write me an email, I can check it for you. Я бы хотела узнать, подойдет ли для поступления сертификат B2 ТЭЛ-ПРУФ. Джоб-центр одобрил сыну этот курс, и он весной уже должен сдавать экзамен. Yes, we accept this. На чому ґрунтується відбір на ту чи іншу спеціальність? What do you mean? You mean whether we have limited number of places? If yes, then it has several reasons. For example, we do not have any limitations for all our technical programs because, of course, we are interested to get as much students as possible because we know from our experience that every second student will not finish the university because it's just very difficult to study. That's why for us, it doesn't make any sense to limit at the beginning. And another thing, for example, where we have restrictions is because, for example, for some, let's say for international management, because we know from experience that we have like 1,000 applicants, and if they will all come to study, if we don't have any restrictions, where should we find lecture rooms? Where should we find all the professors and so on? And where all these people will find a job afterwards? So it must be a like common sense behind this decision, and this is the main reason. So, какие курсы не загружены, на какие курсы меньше всего спрос у студентов? You know, it's also very, of course I understand your question, but for example, I can tell you an example like from my personal life. I studied tourism management or tourism economics at the university. And in order to get into this course, I could get it because my GPA was 1.3. So it's very high GPA, really very high. And so a very small amount of foreigners could get into this course because of the limited places. Only those who have very high grade can get. So the demand was very high for this study course. But what about jobs afterwards? After I completed this bachelor degree, I found out that with this education, this touristic field, I can only find a job with a very low payment, with a lot of extra hours work. So the conditions were not very great on the job market. And that's why I didn't want to work at all in this field. So what I want to say, sometimes the program is very like demanded, very all students want to study this course, but it doesn't mean that afterwards you will have very good job opportunities or you will have very high salary or something. So it has nothing to do with it. Or another thing, for example, like our course, Business and Engineering, it's an open course. There is no restriction. You can get easily into this course. But the study will be not very easy. But afterwards, you will find a good job and with a great salary. But not all can do this study course because it's not easy. The same with mechatronics, robotics, and mathematics, and so on. That's why you have to be careful what is demanded, what is restricted, and what has very good career opportunities. So these are three different things. How to apply for Studienkolleg? It's very, very difficult topic. You can write me an email and I will send you information about this because now I would need like 20 minutes to explain this. How much does the Studienkolleg take and will it end by the start of studying semester? It takes 1 year, yeah. So after you finish Studienkolleg, get your certificate, you can apply at the university and continue your study. Can internships be done outside Europe? Yes. We have students who did their internships in Japan, for example, or United States. We have some Ukrainians who went to the United States to do their internship there. Чи важко працевлаштуватися, якщо навчаються спеціальність кібербезпека? As far as I know, everything what is related to IT has very good career prospects. How much does study cost? The education is free at our university, but only some master programs and some and all MBAs, they are not free. All other programs, they are free of charge. All bachelor programs are free of charge. And last question. And is the school going to help us find internships even if you decide to have it outside Europe? And please, do you have partners in other countries? University do not look for internships for students. In Germany, students are considered to be adults, and adult means that you do everything by yourself. So this is a very good definition, I think. So it means that you have to find an internship yourself. For example, I did my internship on Canary Islands, Gran Canaria. A friend of mine, she did her internship in Thailand because we studied tourism. You know, so for us, it was the best way to do something like internships somewhere, not in Germany, because Germany is maybe not that touristic. But if you are an engineer, maybe it's not a very good idea to do your internship, I don't know, I don't know, Belarus, for example, because it's not known for its engineering or something. So it must have sense. And then there are some like websites where you can find internship everywhere, and you just look and you have to apply. So university will give you knowledge how to apply, how to behave, how to search, and so on. So we give you instruments, and then you use these instruments in order to find what you're looking for. It doesn't matter if it's internship or it's a job. And I know it sounds not very not very friendly somehow, but all international students have to learn it. And because here in Germany, you will like experience that everything you have to do by yourself. And I know it's not very easy, but this is why students come to Germany, in order to be adults and in order to solve their problems, find solutions, and so on. And that's why German graduates are so successful afterwards in their career, because they learn so many skills during the studies, for example, to find an internship. And the good thing about it that you don't have actually in your schedule, you have like semester, let's say semester 4 for internship, but it's not that fixed. So it means, for example, you're looking for internship and you cannot find in your specific country what you would like. So it's not a problem. You can continue with your studies, and then you are looking for internship for the next semester. If you didn't find it, okay, then you look for it in the next semester. So you can also do it like, so you are very flexible, and that's why it can really help you to find the internship of your dream in your preferred country. Yeah, that's it. It was not the last question, okay. Якщо студент провчився семестр та зрозумів, що програма йому не підходить, чи можливо перейти на іншу програму? I answered this question before. You can change, but you have to apply once again. So you have to do the same procedure once again. You have to apply with the right documents in the right application time, and then you will get a decision whether you will get a study place or not. If you will succeed and you will get a study place in a semester, and then some subjects which will be the same can be recognized in a new program. But you're talking about one semester. So maybe you can go to another university and apply after one semester. But specifically at our university, it will not be possible, just because we do not offer subjects every semester. So we offer only all our bachelor only once a year in winter semester. So it means if you study like winter semester and then you do not like it, you cannot apply for summer semester just because we do not offer it. So you have to wait 1 year and then you apply. But maybe you like another program at another university and they are open to apply for summer semester, then yes, you can do it. Маю питання по продовженню освіти за здобуттям в Україні фахом. Можливо, поговорити по Zoom, як ви пропонували. Yes, of course. The only thing, like right now, I will have two like business trips which will last like many weeks. That's why I might not be available now. But if it's urgent, write me an email and we will do it. If it's not urgent, then it's better in April. Like in the end of April, then I will be back. Який середній бал атестату потрібен для економічних програм? Для економічних програм. Like business analytics, business administration, and media management, they do not have restrictions. So it means that you can get study place. It doesn't matter which grade you had in your school leaving certificate and university transcript of records. But if it's international management, then it must be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So then you have in German system, then you have chances. If it's lower than 1.3, then you will not get a study place. Please, I am from an English-speaking country in Africa, which I have studied in English all of my life. Do I need a test to prove I can study in English? If you have a certificate where it's written that your medium of instruction was English, then it's a proof. So you just have to upload this document. Then you don't need any additional test. Please, how long does it take before your admission is given to you after applying? Well, it depends on the program. If it's a non-restricted program, then it's like very quickly. If it's a restricted program, then the decision will be after 28th of July. So end of July, beginning of August. But if it's not restricted program, then much earlier. So maybe like 1-2 weeks after you applied with all the documents. All right, so I now answered all the questions. It was a long presentation. Thank you for so many questions. I hope you could find your answers. If not, you're very welcome to write me an email. You can, as I said, I created a Russian speaking Instagram account. You can also follow it and get information also from there. We also have a Telegram group for Russian-speaking students. You can also ask questions to our existing students. They might also help you with something. So I thank you for... Okay, now I see that you're asking for email. I will give you all my contacts and all the groups in the chat, and then you can have all of them. Okay, so you get, I hope you got the link. So this is all the contacts we have. Thank you once again for your attention and for all your questions, for your interest. Okay.
All right, so Natalia, very big thank to you for the presentation and answering a bunch of questions actually today. So wish you good rest after that. Також дякую всім, хто був з нами, і за ваш інтерес і ваші питання. Сподіваюся, ви отримали відповіді на все. Тому бажаю всім удачі і успіхів зі вступом. And so for Natalia,
yeah, thank you very much. Have a nice evening and see you next time.